Many new managers feel stuck in conflict situations because they think there's only one right way to handle them. And that can lead to overusing one style, like always compromising or avoiding, even when it's not effective. But what if you had a toolbox of strategies, each tailored to a specific kind of tension? So in this model, we'll break down the 5 conflict handling modes from the TKI model and show you exactly when to use each one. So you'll gain clarity and confidence to navigate any conflict with purpose. Let's take a look. So let's look at the typical view of conflict. And the image you see represents the traditional perspective on conflict resolution, where two parties have opposing goals. It shows 2 stick figures pulling on the opposite ends of a rope, symbolizing a tug of war. And it is an illustration of the tension or clash that arises from the different objectives. On one side, you have my goals, indicating one party's desired outcomes. On the other side, there's the other opponent's goals, representing the other party's aims, which are, in this context, in direct opposition to the first party's goals. And the downward arrow leading to compromise suggests that the common way to resolve such a conflict is for both parties to make concessions, find a middle ground, and agree on a solution that partially satisfies both parties. It implies that although neither party achieves their original goals completely, a compromise allows for a resolution that both can accept, mitigating the conflict. However, compromise is not the only option when there's conflict. We will look at the TKI model that will show you different perspectives on conflict handling modes. So understanding and utilizing the TKI model is crucial for new managers because it's going to help you diagnose those tricky conflict situations with precision and give you the tools to respond with the most effective strategy. So the Thomas-Kilmann conflict mode instrument, abbreviated to TKI, is a widely used framework for understanding how individuals handle conflict. And it's developed by psychologist Kenneth W. Thomas and Ralph A. Kilman. And the TKI identifies 5 distinct conflict handling modes based on 2 dimensions. And the first dimension is assertiveness. So that is the extent to which an individual attempts to satisfy their own concerns, right? And then the second dimension is cooperativeness, and that is the extent to which one individual attempts to satisfy the other person's concern. So these 2 dimensions define 5 specific strategies for managing conflict. So you see that in the image here. So based on those 2 dimensions, we've got 5 specific strategies for tackling conflicts. So let's go to the first one, and that is competing. And that is assertive but uncooperative. And this is when you're all about pursuing your own interests, even if it means stepping on some toes. You take a firm stand and leverage your power, whether it's position, expertise, or persuasive skills. While this can be useful when you need to make quick, decisive moves, it can also come across as aggressive and might strain relationships. So that is one strategy. Then we have number 2, and that is accommodating. And that is unassertive and cooperative. So on the flip side, accommodating means putting the other person's wishes first, even if it means sacrificing your own needs. This works well when the issue matters more to the other person and when you want to build some goodwill for future situations, or when keeping the peace is top priority. Just be careful not to overdo it, or you might end up feeling resentful or looking like a pushover. Then we have 3, and that is avoiding, and that is unassertive and uncooperative. And avoiding is basically sidestepping the conflict altogether. You withdraw or evade the situation, leaving everyone's concern unmet. And this can be handy for trivial issues or when there's 0 chance of winning. But watch out, because avoiding conflicts can lead to unresolved problems and a whole lot of frustration. Then we have number 4, and that is compromising. And that is intermediate assertive and cooperativeness. And compromising is about meeting in the middle, Both parties give up a little something to reach a solution everyone can live with. It's quicker than collaboration and can be a solid temporary fix when the time is tight. Just keep in mind that compromise might not leave everyone 100% satisfied, and it can feel like a lose-lose if both sides give up more than they'd like. Okay? And then we go to the fifth one, and that is collaborative. And that means assertive and cooperative. So, collaboration is all about teaming up with the other party to find a solution that hits the jackpot for both of you. It involves open communication, digging into the underlying concerns, and coming up with creative solutions. While collaboration is often seen as the gold standard for resolving conflict, since it leads to win-win outcomes, it does take time and effort. So, the key takeaway from this TKI model is that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to handling conflicts. The most effective strategy depends on the unique situation the people involved in and what you're trying to achieve. Now, let's break down each mode and when to use it. First of all, competing. So this assertive approach is your go-to when you need to act swiftly and decisively, and it's particularly fitting in crucial situations where immediately results are necessary or when you must enforce difficult decisions that may not be widely accepted but are crucial for progress. So use this mode when the stakes are high and a directive stance is needed to meet objectives and when a clear direction must be set without to delay lengthy deliberations. Then accommodating. So opt for accommodation when you acknowledge a misstep or when standing your ground offers no strategic advantage, potentially escalating a losing battle. So it's wise to adopt this stance when the conflict stakes are higher for the other party, allowing you to demonstrate empathy and build relationship capital. This is also an investment in future interactions where the goodwill earned can translate into support when you face matters of greater personal importance. Then we have avoiding. So avoidance is the strategy of choice when facing minor issues that do not warrant the effort of engagement, or when the problem at hand is a manifestation of a deeper issue better addressed at its root cause. It's also prudent when you judge that your concern cannot be effectively met within the current conflict, or when stepping back is necessary to let emotions settle and to prevent exacerbating tensions. Then we have the method of compromising. So this middle-of-the-road approach is most suitable when the involved issues hold moderate importance to all parties, and there is a need to find expedient, fair ground. It's particularly effective when parties are at a stalemate, with neither able to overpower the other, and the goal is to achieve a workable solution that, although not perfect, is acceptable and maintains the operational flow and relationships. So, compromise underscores the value of give and take, reinforcing the idea that flexibility can lead to mutually beneficial outcomes. And then we have the holy grail, right? And that is collaborating. So when both parties have much at stake, collaboration is the path to a solution that honors all involved. It's ideal when compromises would mean losing out on critical interests, and the goal is to develop an innovative and agreeable outcome that goes beyond mere compromise. Employ this mode when the intent is to harness collective wisdom, ensuring that all voices are heard and integrated, leading to a synergetic resolution. Okay, so there you have it. You can utilize the TKI model to gain insight into workplace conflicts. And by understanding these different modes and knowing when to deploy them, you'll be able to resolve conflicts like a true leader and foster collaboration and keep your team relationships thriving. Thanks for watching. You are taking real steps towards becoming a stronger, more effective leader. So, what did you find most helpful today? Drop it in the comments if you'd like to share. And want to go further? Check out my full courses for step-by-step lessons on becoming a better manager. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss a new video. See you in the next one.